Hello, online crew. Today we're going to talk about some onboarding mistakes. So I don't know if you caught my special live yesterday with the amazing 7-figure earner Bec Sadek regarding onboarding and what we do with our team. That is exclusive information that we've shared with you about what we do in our team to set people up for success. But from that, there's been a lot of questions that I've got about onboarding and processes and how we do sort of bits and pieces of what Bec and I shared yesterday. And I also want to talk about some of the biggest onboarding mistakes that people make, just to sort of clarify. If you did not catch the interview that I did with Bec yesterday, sorry, it wasn't on Instagram. So anybody watching live on Instagram, you'd need to come back to my business page on Facebook, which is Helen Martin Online, or my free group, which is Social Media Systems for Serious Social Sellers. So that's where it's sitting at the moment. Just to warn you guys, though, I'm not leaving that information up public. There's too much gold exclusive information from what we do in our team that I'm not going to leave it up publicly. If people want to access that moving forward, they'll have to get it from me privately. So I'm just sharing with you. I'll leave it up for a few days, but if you want access to that training that Bec and I did yesterday regarding onboarding, how to successfully onboard a team member, how we get our team members, $500 more in the first 10 days, in our business, then catch the replay of yesterday's sort of recording. Okay. Just before I get into the biggest mistakes, I do want to share like a couple of questions that came up from that presentation. I want to answer those and also give you a reminder. If you are in my coaching community, we just had live Q&A Zoom call 1 for November. I'm doing the next one tonight in my time zone for those in the UK, Germany, etc. And we had a really, really good call with a lot of different questions coming from social media to group to business pages to personal profiles to how I organize my day, how do I balance my personal life and my business life on social media. There was a lot of gold. We talked a lot about branding as well. So if you're in my coaching community, go and catch the replay, which is sitting in the coaching community Facebook group as soon as you can. Also, I am going live in the video challenge Facebook group just shortly. We're having a glitch with technology with the sign up to my coaching community. So I'll explain all of that over in the video challenge group, shortly. So if you're here with me live or you're catching the replay, say hello and let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know. So let's get into the 3 biggest mistakes. So the first one is if you got a team of a lot or a team of one, it's a team of one is still a team of, somebody that you have to onboard and get going in your business. And how somebody gets started in this industry is everything. How somebody gets started will, play a massive part on whether they stay focused, whether they stay plugged in, whether they, just do something or not do something. So the very first onboarding mistake with any kind of team member is not getting them started straight away. If you leave somebody alone for too long that joins the business, like they keep telling you they're busy or, I'll follow up with that with you later, or, they don't know what to do to get started. I guarantee you will lose a lot of the enthusiasm that they had to join, and good luck with trying to get them back. Sometimes. Have you ever had that? Somebody joins your team and then they just don't answer your messages. Like if you leave it too long, they will go cold. And here's why. When people join up in this industry, they're excited for some reason. Was it a product that, they really think is going to help them, or a service? Or is it the business opportunity and the thought of actually finally sort of making some money? So people join this industry and companies for that reason. Now, what happens as soon as they join is it kicks in that they're going, what do I do now? And what am I going to have to do to build this business? When they start thinking about what they have to do, then the fear really kicks in. And that's when it stops them in this tracks, and they don't even realize what they're doing subconsciously. But if you've followed me for any length of time, you know how I talk about how the brain works. What we feel comfortable with, we do more of. What we feel uncomfortable with doing, we avoid. So naturally what happens when somebody joins your business is, after the excitement is over, I'm so excited to get started, then they think, what am I going to have to do? Do I have to post on social media? Do I have to do reels? Do I have to do stories? How am I going to do that? I haven't had any results with this product or this service, or I haven't made any money in the industry. Like, how can I do that? Oh, I'm not good enough, or I don't have any results. And all this stuff starts feeding their brain, because that's what humans do. So if you're not working with somebody as soon as you possibly can, like getting them into action within their first kind of like 24 hours, then you will slowly lose them the more distance you have between you and your new person. So you've got to stay close to them. Let them know you're there to support them, obviously. Let them know what they need to do from day one. So that's why, like the presentation that I did with Bec yesterday, our onboarding, we are getting people doing something that's very easy from day one. Okay, but you've got to guide them accordingly. As I said, the longer you leave people to their own devices, the further they're going to slip away from you. And then suddenly they're nowhere to be found. And then suddenly they're turning, their product order off, and, it all goes downhill from there. Have you experienced that before? Those of you listening or catching the replay know exactly what I mean when I say that somebody's joined and then they've kind of disappeared, because that naturally what happens when fear kicks in. Now, the second one. Before I get into the second one, I do recognize that the timing of this live, you're gearing up towards Thanksgiving for those of you in the US. So I know a lot of people won't be on this video. They'll catch the replay. But happy Thanksgiving for those of you in the US. And just another quick thing, I'm not actually going live tomorrow. So if any of you sort of, show up tomorrow and it's like, where is she? She's normally live. I'm not going live tomorrow because we've got to go to the school. So some of you might know my eldest son has just finished his final year of school, and my second eldest son is actually finishing he's got 1 year of school to go, but he's finishing tomorrow, and there's a special assembly at the school, and it clashes with the time that I go live. So as always, family first. So back on track. So the second thing is not giving your new team member clear, detailed instructions with how to. So you can tell somebody what to do, but if you don't show them what to do, so do not underestimate the amount of confusion that comes into somebody's brain when they join a new team. They've got new products, they don't know what to do, they don't know how anything works, they probably don't know how to get their links. You say something like, okay, put a post on your social media or put something in your stories, and they're like, yeah, I'll go and do that. And then the fear kicks in. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. And then they don't do it. Okay, so this is why with the onboarding, like Bec and I shared in the presentation yesterday. So again, if you missed it, go and catch that. What we do is give them like a text message or an email or both, send it to their phone and say, this is what you're doing today. This is the reason that you're doing it. This is some, strategy kind of around it, and here's some examples. So not only are we sharing with somebody what to do, we're delivering it to their phone or their email or both every day. We're sharing with them exactly what to do on that day, but we're not just telling them what to do. We're giving them examples to draw from as well. So there's lots of photos and, screenshots and things of other team members, what they've done. So it's very easy for somebody to kind of look at that and go, okay, how can I adapt that and make it my own? So if you want to set up a team member success, you've got to have some kind of, detailed structure like that. So they not only know what to do, which might be the case, it's kind of like how they do it and execute it. If you miss that piece of the how, that's where things start to break down. Okay. Now, the third one is not following up with them. So yes, we've got systems and I can leave them to their own devices, and we don't do endless amounts of Zoom calls or three-way chats or any kind of that because of the system we've got. Like, it's so refreshing, I've got to tell you. So, we've got that within our team. I don't know what you've got with your team, but even with all that systemization and duplication, I'm still obviously going to communicate and check in with my team members. And I do find a lot of my team members will say to me, but you're so busy, I didn't want to bother you. My team know if they message me, I will respond. My team are my priority with everything that I do online. So, and they know, my team knows if they message me, they will get a response. I'm not going to ghost anybody. And I also say to my team, and some of my team, I know I'm very busy, but you can always reach out to me. So I'm not going to follow up everyone all day, all the time. I don't have time for that, but I always let them know. Make sure you message me with the questions. I'm happy to help you with anything. Let's get on a quick call and solve that problem for you. Like, I'm there for my team and I'm communicating with my team. I do a team call every week. I'm in communication with my team. We've got a chat group. You've got to keep the communication high, particularly when somebody's joining, and get them plugged into what it is that you do and your team calls and things like that. It's the environment that you involve your team with that'll help them stay. If they feel like part of a community, if they feel like they're having a bit of fun, if they feel like they're supported, if they feel like they've got a good group of people to help. There's lots of people in your messenger chat. You can ask a question, somebody will answer. Like, they feel like they're supported and they're plugged into that. Then that makes a really big difference with how somebody stays or goes. If your team members are not plugging in, they're not looking at the chats, they're not on your team calls, then they're distracted with life. So stay close to your team members, and if you notice that they're not attending team calls or catching the replay and asking you questions, then you absolutely have to do your due diligence as a leader. Even if you've got one team member, you need to lead that team member. So not only do you need to lead yourself, but even one person, you've got a team, okay? And you need to lead them accordingly. And look in the mirror. If you are not contributing to the team chat, if you're just take, read, like if you're not, if you find that your upline hasn't posted the recording of something in the chat, are you doing it? Like, get in and show the team that you're active. Make sure you're on all the team calls so you know what's going on. Because, I don't know about your business, but we have a lot going on in ours. It's at the timing of this video, it's Black Friday, so there's lots going on. There's lots of specials. There's lots of things to talk about. The chats move very fast and people get overwhelmed. When people get overwhelmed, they check out. So you've got to make sure you've got the systems and the duplication in place and the support in place and the calls in place to support your team, but make sure they're plugged in. So, your communication on all levels, when somebody starts, checking in with them, even if you've got a system as good as ours, the system that I shared yesterday with Bec, even if you've got a U-Butte system like that, you still need to communicate with people, check in with them, make sure they're plugged in. If you notice people are starting to disappear, then, follow them up. And even myself, I've had team members that I will follow them up and they don't respond. I'll follow them up again. They don't respond. I follow them up. I don't respond. And I'm still going, hey, I'm going to keep following you up until you answer me. Like, what's going on for you? Is everything okay? You do get to a point, if somebody goes to you that much, it's like, oh, I can't help them anymore. I'm willing to help, but if they don't want the help. So sometimes you have to let people go, and you've got to, pick your battles with who you support sometimes and how much energy and time you give to people who don't want to help themselves. But absolutely, in the beginning of that journey, you've got to support your people, check in with the people, make sure they're plugged into all the things that you have. Does that make sense? The questions that I wanted to answer from yesterday's presentation about our exclusive onboarding presentation is, do your team have to pay for what you do? So we have the texting and the email service. No. So Bec herself, who was on the presentation with me yesterday, she wears all that burden for our entire team, which is pretty incredible. So whether it's you providing it for your team or an upline providing it for your team, somebody just has to lead the charge with some kind of system, like the system I shared with you yesterday. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back down my feeds and listen to that, because I'm actually not going to leave that up publicly, for any length of time because it's pretty exclusive information to our team, and we've got to protect that. So there's no cost to our team for that kind of service, okay? And the other question, like what email or text messaging service, like that's really up to the upline. There are so many email software programs that you could use. There's so many text messaging services that you use. Like that's up to the leader to do their research on the email, software programs and text messaging software that's suitable to them. The other question, last question from yesterday when I was talking about how our team can earn up to, well, actually not up to, more than $500 in their first 10 days in the business. Is that just a once off? And it's like, no, that's every month. So I just wanted to clarify that for those of you that watched yesterday's presentation, had some questions. But just reach out to me if you've got any questions from that presentation sort of personally. But how somebody gets started in this industry, how you treat them, how you plug them in, how you communicate with them, how you follow up, but also the detailed instructions, it will make or break somebody in this industry. And the more you leave somebody alone, the more fear creeps in and the more distant that they will get. Because if everyone was really happy and confident in what they're doing, they'd be posting on all the time. They'd be talking to people all the time. So why is it that people don't? It's just fear. They're not really sure what to say. They're not sure how to say it. They're not sure how to position themselves. They get confused about all that kind of stuff. That's just fear. So stay close to your team members and provide them an environment that they feel supported and happy and having fun and stuff like that. Like we have so many team calls that our team can plug into no matter what country somebody is in, a few times a week. So you've got to provide that support for your team as well. Okay. But definitely check in with them if they're not plugged in, because when people aren't plugged in, they lose interest a bit. Okay. So it's really important, not only how somebody starts in this industry, like that's critical. It's that nurturing process and whatever your team has got set up with team calls and chats and Zooms and, those kind of things to support people, but doing it in a way that it doesn't overwhelm anybody and, confuse everybody. Okay. We've got to be here to streamline things and make things easier. Wherever there's a way that I can streamline things for my team, that's what I'm doing. And I've just done that. Like I've just created just last week, like this one-page website with everything spelled out. As soon as somebody joins our team, right, this is the essential stuff. This is how you get into our launch plan. This is the Facebook group, blah, 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 blah. So when anyone joins our team, we've got one website link that I've created for them. Like it's so simple, telling them everything that they do. And then they plug into everything that I shared with you, with what Bec and I shared with you yesterday. So those kind of systems are what will help you build a team or will hold you back. So if your upline is not doing that for you, then take responsibility yourself for providing that for your team. Or go to an upline and say, hey, can we create this together? It's that important. There's too many people that come into this industry, they get excited and they don't give it long enough and then they're out. So you want people in, you want them to feel like they're at home, you want to give them a good system. Duplicatable systems is what will cause longevity in your business and ongoing volume for growth. Okay, so really important to look at these kind of systems and have them in place. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So just a couple of things. Don't forget to watch the recording of yesterday's presentation with Bec if you've missed it, because I am pulling it down. And I won't be live tomorrow because I'll be at my son's school at a presentation at the same time that I normally go live. So I will see you guys. But if any of my team watching, we're still doing the team call first. I've still got time for that. If any of you work with me in my network marketing team, we're still doing the team call first before I go off to the school. Okay. So hope that all makes sense. If you've got any questions at all about onboarding or, just reach out to me personally. Video challenges, I'm going into the video challenge group like in a second to explain to you what's going on with the links and stuff there. And I will see you guys next week. Okay, bye. Yes, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the US. Absolutely. And thanks for your chats there. Just the presentation was so good and wonderful to know we have systems in place to help us be successful. That's what it's all about. Systems means success. Systems mean duplication. And that is just critical in this particular industry. Okay, catch you next week. Bye.